Welcome to Black
Essence Personified.
Personified.
It's been a while, y'all. It's been a while.
A little bit. You got a show last week.
I mean, on a happier note, I am no longer
no crutches
in my boot.
Just
That was the
crocs.
last one, right? The last one I was definitely in a boot. So yeah. So I thought that we should start off today a little differently than what we are used to. And I thought it was important that we do a mental health check-in.
That's nice.
And so this check-in is for those who are listening. This check-in is to Pharaoh over here. A little bit of Gemini.
We all could use a little checkup.
Yes, and I think that what I'm realizing the older I get, that simple things such as like, hey, how are you doing? Did you eat today? I love you, Pharaoh.
I love you too.
With all my heart.
Gemini, Nubian queen.
No, seriously, I really do love you with all my heart. I think that it's important that we say these things because life is not promised. And that was probably the biggest lesson I learned from 2020. One of them.
That's very true.
So I wanted to start off by simply asking you, how are you doing?
I'm well. These have definitely been a hard year.
Mm-hmm.
I've lost some people who I thought, I would share, moments for the rest of my life with. And recovering from those losses has been an act of maturity, I would say, for me. Given where I'm at, just philosophically, I'm becoming more accepting of what I can and cannot control. And nobody has control over life or death. So, me rationalizing loss lately has been making sure I hold on to those moments that are the warmest. I'm very happy that I take a lot of pictures and record a lot of videos and stuff like that because it's been a comfort, So that is one aspect of life right now. It's just heavy on me. I'm sick of saying RIP. I'm just sick of, that level of just death that's just been prevalent lately. So, it's definitely been hard, but, I've been fortunate. I have good friends, check up on me. I try to keep my mental state good and make sure I seek a counselor or some therapy when it's too much to bear, and I think that's the important thing. Something I was telling one of my friends recently is, I don't know who told you life was supposed to be all sunshine and peaches, but they fucking lied. And that lie has given you a false mindset towards life. Life is not supposed to be all good, nor is it supposed to be all bad. It's supposed to be a mixed bag, and you need to learn to meet with triumph and disaster and treat those imposters like they're the same. How are you?
Before I even answer that, I feel like you hit so many different points that I think that we don't talk about enough. All right? Like, who sets these expectations in life? How do we set the expectations of ourselves? Right? And there was something that you told me earlier this week. I'm not sure if you remember. It was along the lines of like how I felt about the awards. But the Emmys, yes.
Okay.
And oh my gosh, I'm trying to remember what it was, but it was so good. Something along the lines of like being disappointed, right? Something about like, okay, the only reason why you're disappointed is because of your expectations. There we go.
Yes,
okay. And that spoke so many volumes to me because can we help that feeling of disappointment?
No.
And it is so real because it's like, it's this gut wrenching pit of the stomach. Oh my gosh. Like you can feel it. Sometimes it causes you to sweat and it's like, sometimes it can be deteriorating.
Yes.
In my profession or even profession and in general, I try my hardest not to tell people that I'm disappointed in them. I'm upset with what you did. I'll be very precise about it. And it has to be something that I feel is really deep in order for me to say I'm disappointed, because the way that it makes people feel is ridiculous.
It is. And something I've learned, just as a coach when dealing with people, I'm never disappointed about something I didn't set an expectation for. We think people just know. That's the problem. We just think common sense is common, and it's not. Yeah. Unless you tell people, I've learned to set expectations. I do it with most of my friends. I let them know, like, this is who I am, this is what I am. Set the expectations. Or else you don't have a right to be disappointed. Because they're humans. We're all people. We're all flesh. We're all going to do what pleases us. Unless an expectation is set for you to do for you to do something different than what I would expect you to do, I don't have a right. Unless I told you that I expected that of you. Right. When I'm mentoring and coaching, you're right about disappointment. Because it's a great tool when used correctly. Yes. But a disappointment without an expectation not set, it's like a liquid ground you're giving this kid to build off of.
Absolutely. It makes me think about, like, how words are so powerful and how it's important for us to uplift our own communities, but also our families, our friends, as long as they're not toxic.
We're all a little toxic,
right? Here we go. We're all a little toxic.
A little dash.
But
or you're boring.
But I appreciate your transparency and saying how you're feeling. And also that even though there are some things that you're dealing with, you're dealing. And I don't think that we say it enough, but, like, I'm proud of you.
Proud of you.
Because you do have a choice. We have a choice to whether deal with what's going on or we could just ignore it and just press through. And I think oftentimes that is it's almost like a trauma response in certain ways. Like, instead of fixing it, we're like, okay, you know what? I'm good. We disguise everything with, I'm strong. Like, I could deal with anything. And then we don't actually deal with some of the things that we should be dealing with. And it festers.
And I think I said this too in the last show. When we talk about mental health, you have to realize we didn't even start mentioning mental health till recently. It is the norm of our species to just get up on the horse and keep going. That's normal. To deal with some shit that doesn't go your way, push it down, and get back to work. You gotta eat. The kids gotta eat. The bills have to be paid. None of these life things are gonna stop because you feel bad about yourself. Right. And because of that, we're forced to keep going. You know, you hear a lot of older blacks say, we're surviving. I dealt with this, dealt with that, and I still made it. It's like, whoa, you need to go sit on the couch.
It's like you're not afraid for real. Sit on the couch.
You 65 years old, you've been through a lot. You need to go talk to someone about this.
How do you feel about that? Do tell. How do you feel?
And that's something I think we should be comfortable with. But you're right. Like, it's our nature to make it happen. Yes. It's our nature to make sure we're moving. Because again, what is mental health truly in an environment in like we live? The environment that we live in doesn't cater to how we feel. The weather doesn't care if I'm up or down. The winds don't care if I need to go left or right. What is our mental health in an environment that we don't control? What can I control? My attitude towards the things that are happening. I can control whether I have a negative outlook or a positive outlook. I actually have control over that. I can control if something is overwhelming to me, if I let it overwhelm me or if I step back and calculate what I can deal with, what I can't deal with. I have control only of myself and my attitude towards the things that are coming towards me.
So I love that you said this because Pharaoh has no idea what I was going to mention today. I've been purposely avoiding the question, if you guys saw it at the beginning. And it was just, how am I feeling? And honestly, in the last, I want to say probably around 3 to 4 weeks, I've really been struggling with my mental health. And I think that we don't talk about it enough because someone like me, doesn't really display my anxiety, my depression in the same way that everybody would so-called see it on TV or even for the definition. I kind of function as what you like, almost like a working alcoholic. I immerse myself.
That's functioning.
Literally, I'm sorry, you're a functioning alcoholic, but like a functioning depressed person, okay? And I've always been that way. I get some of the best work done because I immerse myself in my job. Every day, I give my very last. And it doesn't hit me until I get to my car. Mm-hmm. And even just thinking about it right now, it's kind of making me emotional. But like some people, they would mean well, and they would say, just think about happy thoughts, or think about all the things that you're grateful for, or this and that. And I'm not in a place in my life in which things are not going my way. I'm not in a place in my life where I can say, I lost my job. I can't think of some big pivotal moment that has made me feel the way that I feel. And I think those are the parts of depression that people don't really talk about a lot. Where I don't need a specific trigger.
Yes. It's just the wave came out of nowhere.
Yes.
Yes.
And so the only thing that I can do for now is to make sure that I'm not sinking any deeper than I already am. And so as somebody who is functioning with this anxiety and depression, like I have to be very mindful that I'm also balancing, because it's exhausting. It's exhausting. And not that I have to be this person that's like smiling ridiculously, mm-hmm. or, I'm not trying to play a role, but I do know that my job is providing a service to other people. And if I'm going to provide that service, I feel like I need to be there for them. And it's just very interesting to see people who assume so much, and then the people who kind of reach out and say something and they're not able to handle that. Oh, you can come talk to me. And it's like, well, how are you doing? Actually, I've seen better days. And there's no follow-up.
Because
there's no...
Remember we talked about being cordial.
Right.
Each other how we're doing, because that is the societal norm.
Right. And not because we actually care.
Yeah, or that we're trained to handle anything, but I'm doing fine.
Right.
There's no training socially for what happens when someone says, no, I'm not doing fine.
Right.
You're not expecting them to say that.
Right.
How are you doing? I'm fine. Moving on.
Right.
It's literally like a hello.
Right.
But it's more than a hello, because people need to be checked in on. And I would say one of the things I've noticed is people don't have someone they're comfortable telling they're not all right. And that's step one. If you don't even have, most people don't, but if you can't even get that, one person on this entire planet, you're in a bad place. Where do those thoughts go? When I think about mental health, I think about a battle with the voices in your head. We all have a voice in our head. Some have more, some have one or two. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But we all have that voice in our head. If not trained to properly know what that voice's power is inside of you, you'll let it run amok. There's this great sales training thing they do by this guy named Earl Nightingale. And he has this 20-minute, 30-minute clip called The Strangest Secret. And one of the most important things about this thing is he's basically mapping out the importance of the human mind. The human mind is like a blank field. I can plant corn or I can plant nightshade. The mind is going to grow whatever the fuck you plant in it. What that little voice does is planting seeds. If it looks at you and is critical, it's planting critical seeds in your head. That'll become critical thoughts for you later. If your field is full of these critical seeds, you have a head full of critical thoughts about yourself. That understanding of the brain should be taught to every kid early on.
Yes.
And that's the problem. This is the most powerful thing on the planet, one of them, the brain. And it's the thing we're teaching and educating each other the least about.
I think that it's sometimes like just what you're saying could sometimes translate to, think positive, you'll be positive, right? But I think that what you're saying is that it's more so an investment in yourself. So for me, planting seeds would be like, okay, I don't really want to see anybody right now, right? I don't want to see anybody at all.
That's a seed.
I give everything that I have at work. I come home. I don't want to see anybody. I don't want to deal with anybody. The seed is not me staying home. The seed is the fact that I'm going to come with you and I'm going to do the podcast. Because I know that when I'm around my best friend, I'm going to feel better.
Yes.
I know that I'm socializing. It's something that I love to do. I know that you love me, right? And it's something that I can feel, right? So even though I don't want to do that extra thing.
Yes.
The seed is like, what this can do for you.
It's
right?
fruitful.
And I think that's what it is. Like sometimes I don't think that people understand that these are seeds. And I love that analogy. But like that's what it is. Yes. It's not the job. You'll be like, oh yeah, you wake up in the morning, you went to work. No, I'm literally like a machine.
Yes.
Like I'm like, hey, I go to my job, I do what I have to do. People say, oh my gosh, like you're on it today. You're on this, da, da, da. Oh my gosh, like they can notice that there's a huge change, right?
Yes.
But really, it's just survival. I need to get through my day. I need to do this job in excellence because I know I can do it. And the moment I sit down in my car, I'm like,
done.
I have nothing else left in me. And I have to say that I want to thank you because you have seen me at my lowest many times. Oh my gosh, if I cry, I'm going to be so mad if I cry.
What you thought was your lowest. It was just on your come up.
I was just on my come up. This guy does this every time.
Just saying.
But like to have a friend like Pharaoh, if you're watching this and you know about us and our throwback, like, it's a beautiful thing.
It's a storied history.
And don't take any friendship that's real when somebody knows who you are and treasures who you are and someone that you are willing to treasure too and you love that person wholeheartedly. Like don't take that for granted. And
you don't get that many. Like, I have a rule on life. You only get, like, 3 or 4 good people.
3 or 4?
Yeah, I've been blessed. I got, like, at least 10.
You're probably going to have all of us be mad if they watch this.
Oh, they're mad. They're in the 10. It's a very ambiguous.
You cut out our whole squad out there. A whole high school squad.
I have been fortunate, though. And that's one thing I can truly say that definitely helps with my mental place in life is I'm very appreciative of the life I've lived so far. Even though professionally things might not have gone the way I wanted them to, I know for a fact that I'm loved. Mm. And with an assurity that I know most people don't have. I lean in on that. If I'm low or I'm having a moment, I fall back and I'm like, whoa, you're loved. Mm. People love you.
I think that the people who don't love you sometimes, like, I think that, I mean, they say they love you, but I think that they don't know how to deal with certain aspects of you.
That's fair. I can't deal with myself sometimes.
I think that it's fair to say that there's some friends who can deal with it and some friends who cannot.
Yeah, that's fair.
You
need a break.
But I definitely think that, like, you're definitely way different from me.
How so? What do you mean?
Like, when I feel like you just get very distant. But sometimes you are, like, we don't talk for a while. I think you just get really distant.
Yes. But in all fairness, that's my mental health thing too, I would say. I need me time. Mm-hmm. I need moments to be with my thoughts. I need moments to be playing with a philosophical ideal. Mm-hmm. I need that time to search through the last 10,000 years of history. Like, I'm literally, if you're not seeing me, I'm in a moment, something's on my mind that I have to, or something is playing with my brain functions and I just have to figure it out, like recently I got lost in the Leviathan concept. So Thomas Hobbes has this book called Leviathan, which is basically like one of the key tenets of like Enlightenment thinking. And the core theme of the book is bad government is better than no government. Thomas Hobbes lives through seeing like the execution of one of the English kings that leads to like a civil war and stuff. Mm-hmm. So he's at a point where people are talking about more freedoms, attempt to get those freedoms and wind up creating a worse situation than they were in before. So he kind of walks through like, so I was lost in that for maybe a couple of weeks. Like easily, I think you texted me and I try to respond to your texts and IGs. You actually get a quicker response than most people. You should know that. All right, you're like top 2 quickest responses. But like, I just needed to figure that out. And like, that requires me to go to the woods and meditate. And, it's just a thing,
What did you learn?
It doesn't matter what, because,
Next podcast!
Because even the thing I'm having a problem with right now is we have enough human history to not repeat the current mistakes we're currently repeating. But it does not matter if people don't care about the knowledge. And that's essentially the problem today. People are literally saying, that's your facts, I have my own facts. And we've just created religion on like a quad level that no one has to agree on anything. So, it's a death of reason and ration. So that definitely is depressing me. That's easily something up there that...
Yeah, we talked about also, like, how we feeling about what's going on around us. And
I'm very concerned. Yeah. One of my mentors asked me to make long-term goals. And usually making goals is very easy for me. Like, I'm good at making lists and like, let me check off my things on my list. So I get myself together. And I have not been able to create a long-term goal in like 2 months.
You gonna do it together?
We can try, but the problem is my brain just doesn't think there's a long-term to be going for.
That's actually kind of sad.
It is, but
it's really sad.
It's ignorance is bliss. I know too much. I read too much. I watch too much world news. I'm studying too much rise and fall.
Yeah, but the goal is personalized to you, right?
What does it matter to the individual if the whole thing falls apart? My freedoms depend, the life I like to live comfortably depends on everyone doing the right thing, doing a stabilized system. Yeah,
well, that would never happen anyway.
I mean, it's happening right now. I just wanted to keep going.
Is it?
I don't have the same problems with life you have. I think life is pretty good right now for me as a black man. What am I concerned about? The police are nicer than they've ever been before. They're afraid of us now, pulling cameras on them. We're winning. I can get a loan.
That's if we have the
I
chance
can get
to
a
pull out the
job.
camera.
I can go to college. What can I get if I put my mind to it right now?
I have a word in my mind that I'm not going to say. I'm not going to say it.
Because I'm kidding.
I'm not going to say it.
No, like, but...
I'm not going to say
like,
it. Not right now for this podcast. I refuse
I'm just saying, it's just,
to go there.
I'm decently educated. I'm mildly smart. Like, Did
I hurt your hand, by the way? I'm sorry.
No, my hand's fine. My stitches come out tomorrow, so it's pretty much closed. But, like, I don't know how I'm personally oppressed right now. My own problems I have are all things I can directly work on and fix.
Okay.
But that's me, When I talk to white people, they don't do that my nerves. I speak the right level of intellectualism. They don't give me all that bullshit they give everybody else. That's all I can assume. I'm not getting the same white people experience everyone else is getting. That's all I can assume. It's probably how I speak. One of my friends said that to me the other day. He said, you speak like a bougie-ass white man.
Thank you. Is that what you were thinking? Thank you.
No, I wasn't thinking thank you. I was like, no white person has ever told me I speak
Say
like
that
that.
again. I what? I speak like what?
A bougie-ass white man. I was like...
All right, give me an example. How would you speak? I'll tell you.
I don't know.
Come on, say something. Say something you said in a conversation.
We've been having a conversation this whole time. That's how you speak? Everybody. I literally feel like I'm having the same... I speak the same with everybody. I don't know what she's saying. But she's saying my general way of speaking is like a bougie white man.
Okay.
Do you think that? No, right? Yes?
Like a bougie white man?
I don't think I talk like a bougie white man.
I don't know how you're talking to them. But
she's a black girl.
We have history, so I don't know what...
I don't see it. I don't see it.
Like a bougie white man. Anyway, I mean, we're pretty good right now for time.
Yeah. It was a good show.
So,
do we have some mental health things you want to leave people with? This was a good chat.
Yeah. Come on, get closer to the camera.
Well, this is
all right. Let's see. What would you like them to know?
My key with mental health would be
key and mental health.
That's what we're talking about. That's what you were saying.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, no, what are we doing? This is your show.
This is my show? This is my show?
You're leading the show. What do we do? Because I was just going to give tips.
All right, go ahead. Give a tip. Good tip.
No, it's just, no. What are we doing?
No, I was just going to say that I was just going to talk to you guys and say to make your mental health a priority. The same way how that you would take care of some stitches. Or take care of a broken foot. Prioritize. We all types of fucked up. Okay, no, seriously. I'm sorry. This is like nervous laughter. This is nervous laughter. Okay, sorry. The same way how you would take care of something that people can physically see, should be the same way that you take care of your mental health. And I just wanted to say that, like, I'm working on it. And clearly, Pharaoh, he's working on it too. And that also includes therapy. That includes me having open communication with my girlfriend and letting her know what's going on. That's her also being invested and understanding that not everything that's happening is something that's personal to her. Giving me my space, but then at the same time, like, understanding that I might need her. So I think it's important to communicate and take care of yourself. And when I say, I know everybody keeps throwing around like self-care.
Yeah, it's a very ambiguous word. I'm not really sure where.
I think people throw it around. They mean well, but
sometimes they don't, though.
I think that we think, once again, self-care is supposed to look a certain way, but sometimes self-care is also like releasing the toxicity from those that are around you, bad energy. Sometimes it's just even having time to yourself. Like, I love that Pharaoh mentioned earlier, just being at one with nature, having his head in a book, and maybe you're not the type of person that wants to read sometimes. Maybe you're the type of person where...
There's audiobooks.
Audiobooks, you could also...
I'm guilty of an audiobook. I do not read Aristotle anymore. It's all audiobooks now.
If you're not interested, you can also listen to music. You wanna cook something, you wanna play games, you wanna talk to somebody. I know, like, sometimes talking to my nephews and my niece just makes me feel happy about life because they were so happy to hear from me.
That's true.
But, like, take care of yourself because you deserve it.
Facts.
You deserve it.
Facts.
So,
I would just say my quick steps to getting yourself feeling just a little better. 1, change your environment. Rule number 1, if your mental state is constant, get the fuck out of wherever you are. It does not matter. Move a state away, get a little job. Get the fuck out of where you are. A change of environment may be the thing you need. It might not be you. It just might be the people and environment you're in keeping you where you're at. So first, let's talk about changing your environment. Second, make a list. I always make a list. What can I control? What do I have to do? What do I need to do? Make a list. Writing that list is going to help you prioritize what's important to you. Some of those things you're going to let you like, oh, now I write it down. Why the fuck is that even on the list?
Oh,
make
that was
a list. What do you need? What's important to you? Whatever it is, make a list. Second, I encourage everyone to take the love language test.
I think we're on third.
Oh, third. Yeah, third. Third, take the love language test. Figure out how to love yourself. The love language test tells you what behaviors you associate love with. Feeling good and love, they're all connected. All right? Being lonely and feeling bad, that's connected. Figure out your love language so you can best love yourself. I know I like gifts. I'm a gift giver, and I like physical touch. What does that mean? I buy myself gifts. I give myself hugs sometimes. I like that. Thank you. And that's it. We're running out of time.
Okay,
yeah,
perfect.
so there's going to be an intro that comes in, an outro at some point.
So be blessed.
Yeah, be blessed. Take
Positive
care of yourself. And if someone gives you a hard time, tell them Pharaoh told you.
No, I'm just kidding.
Don't do that. We're educated now. We don't do those things anymore. But, we just want you guys to live your best life. Reach out. put some comments down below. We're pretty cool people. You got some problems, tell them what's going on. There's nothing we can't figure out together.
Amen.
So, if you've enjoyed this episode of Black Essence Podcast,
please make sure to subscribe by pressing the subscribe button down below and also pressing the bell.
You can also follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Black Essence Pod. We look forward to seeing you guys soon.
Yo, it's Patience from the Black. If you trust me, do it if you want me.